Welcome to week 4. We've made it all the way to week 4. We've done quite a bit in this course so far. I'm really, really proud of you if you're still here, and I'm really excited to help you with today's mission, which is creating your book. Now, I know that there are some apps and some web applications, we learned of web applications, that will literally create an entire book for you. It will print out pictures. It'll make a coloring book. It'll make a children's book. It'll make whatever kind of book you can think of by you just giving it a prompt, and it'll print out the whole thing, and then bam, you can upload that and sell it. That's not what we're doing today. I want to give a preface that when I say we're going to be using AI to create a book, we're going to be using AI to map out outline. We're going to be using it to do research. It's going to be using it to do competitive analysis. We'll be using it to create drafts of our chapters. But we will not be just putting in a prompt, pushing out a book, and then uploading it to sell. So I wanted to get that out before we go any further and start. If you think that's what we're going to do, not we're going to do it all. We are going to format and outline and put together a book with our own thoughts, feelings, expressions, stories, experiences, knowledge, all those things. So that's what we're going to do today. I just want to make sure that you understood. So if you've been with me the last few weeks, then you know we started off by creating a USP and a niche and finding out who we're going to serve, what we're going to help them do, how we're going to help them do it. And we've been revolving everything around this promise and this goal. We, on the second week, created a web application that did something that would help that target audience that you had. The week after that, we created a course. This week builds on that course. We're going to be creating our book. This book is going to be a companion book to the course that you made last week. Remember I told you last week, come with at least outlining a course so you can already get this book created and taken care of. Also, that means if you've gotten your outline and you've gotten the course kind of created, the ChatGPT knows about your course, knows what's in it, knows the information. You've done some research, it's pulled some information from the web, and it's going to give you a base to start with, so you're not starting from scratch. So I also want you to know that because we're making a companion book, we're going to be starting in that same chat. So we're not starting a brand new chat. We're going to go in the same chat, and we're going to be making a book that goes with your course. It's not going to be a follow along that is exactly what the course is. It's going to be a book that somebody that's taking your course could also use this book, have assignments, have worksheets, have different things inside that will help them along, because it's something they would be able to use being the person that would need that course. So it's how you can bundle things, how you can upsell. You're like, well, if you like this course, you'd also like this book. So we're going to be making a companion point. What we're going to be doing today, as of now, I'm going to start walking you through is structuring your book, writing it with AI. Like I said, not printing it out and just putting it up, but actually having AI ask you questions, interview style, one by one, pulling out information from you, understanding, and also reading other people's books. Because did you know AI can read? We're going to be having AI read a book today as part of our work. But AI can go in and read other people's ebooks, anything that's posted online that it can find in your topic. It can read it and understand what's going well with it, how people are writing it, pull from that, get experiences, get a writing style, get examples. So we'll be doing that. And then also designing our book, because AI can create book covers. AI can also find out and create your author bio and your book blurb. So we'll be using those as well. Now, why do you want to create a companion book? I gave you some examples before, but the number one reason why we're going to create this companion book is because it is going to help you establish your authority, and it's going to expand your reach. There are people that might not take a course, aren't course people, or maybe someone might not even know who you are at all, might come across your book on Amazon. There's actually a lot of people that have bought. I have 4 books, by the way. 3 #1 bestsellers. The first one, I didn't know how to become a #1 bestseller yet. My very first book, I put it out, and I just assumed it was going to go #1 bestseller, because everybody that I had seen them put out a book had gotten #1 Amazon bestseller, and I did not. And so then I learned how to do it, got really good. I've done 3. And those books have sold, not because I'm out here peddling the book. They sell because at some point in time, I'm talking to somebody, because I'm around my target audiences. I have multiple target audiences, but I'm around them a lot. I'll be talking about, oh, I have a book on that. Actually, one of the books is the book on how to write the book, because I have a program where I help people write a book, and I teach them how to write books, and I talk about how to write books, and I do workshops with libraries about how to write books. And because I'm around people that want to write a book, everybody can't work with me, but I wrote a book called The Book on Writing the Book. And so instead of me saying, oh, come in, we'll do a consultation, or maybe we'll do some long drawn out program, that this person might not be even in the market for that. I work for a certain demographic. I can say, hey, I wrote a book on Amazon. called The Book on Writing the Book. And then people go buy it. And also people refer people to my book. I have a book called Brandon, You're Doing It Wrong that's super, super old. At this point, it's updated. And people tell people about that book all the time because it walks them through building their brand. And then people, they find me through other ways, like, oh, I found your book because my friend had it and she told us so-and-so, and that's how I found you. And it works really well. So it expands your reach in ways that you can't do it, but also in expanding that reach, it builds trust. And the reason why it builds trust is because they are reading that you know what it is that you're talking about. It's kind of like getting to have a one-on-one with you and to learn what's in your head and learn the process you have. You're getting to present frameworks and ideologies and methodologies that you specifically have, what, when, how, why, of what it is that you teach. And so instead of sitting and maybe the same way you're watching this video and saying, oh, you know what, she probably knows how to write a book after I finish all these things I'm showing you, you might not be a video person. You might be a person that can read something and say, oh, I've read the book. I saw all the steps and everything. Definitely know this person knows what they're doing. I trust them to do the things that they say you can do because I've read the process of them doing. I read the book that they wrote, which is why we are not just pushing out a ChatGPT book. We're going to be writing the book and adding in our own thoughts, experiences, ideologies, and knowledge. So that way it's a reflection of you and what it is that you can do and you can share and you can share with the world. So it is building credibility and it is building brand authority as well. Because like I said, all the things we're doing are all going to be around the same topic. So we're not going to veer off with this book. We're going to make it a companion book. It's not going to be the exact same thing because you want a different set of information so you can share things and help and people see a different perspective of what you can share. You don't want to, just recreate the book and pop out the exact same thing. But in doing this, it's going to help people continue to think about you and your brand for a certain thing. So instead of people kind of thinking like, oh yeah, they do this and the other, nope, we're all going to have it around the same topic. If all the things that I'm doing, as you've seen me do previously, have all been around secret shopping. I made a secret shopper toolkit was my web app. For my course, I made an intro to secret shopping, people to start learning how to secret shop. And for my book, you already guessed it, we're going to walk through how we're going to do that. So it's taking me right into the book. We're going to start working with that. Let me share my screen. From course to book. What's that? Okay, let me make sure you can see it. Okay, you can see it. And then we got down how it moved on its own. We are here. Okay, cool. So I'm already in the chat. This is my chat for the course. Remember we finished the course last week. This is all my slides and things like that, the messages and all the assets that we did. And I went right into it. I just said, I wrote it wrong. I think I spoke it out loud and then it pasted. But I said, I'm going to read you a book that walks you through writing a book. I wanted to say I'm going to upload a book that walks you through writing a book. I want you to read the book and then help me to write one that will match the course I just created. Now, mind you, you might not know necessarily how to write a book. You might think, okay, I've never written a book before. I don't know the flow of writing a book. I don't even know how to keep my thoughts organized and to make sure it has a flow or an end. Well, one of the things that you can do is feed the information. Instead of me writing a prompt and telling ChatGPT exactly how it's going to help me write this book or having it walk me through writing a book and I don't even know that, what I can do is feed it instructions. You can feed ChatGPT entire books. And so that is what I did. And so I want you to keep in mind, not just for this book or this thing specifically, but what other things can you feed ChatGPT? What can you teach it? What books can you have it read and have it learn from? The same way, or actually read the book and have it give you synopsises. Now, mind you, you don't want to give it specific synopsis, but maybe like blurbs of things that might pull out or things that might be useful to you for certain situations. But ChatGPT can read. And so what I did was fed it my book, the book on writing the book. And in that book, I have, I think it's like 10 chapters or 15 chapters that goes through exactly what you need to do and why and the thought press behind it. It has the thought press behind when you were creating your topic, how to find out what be the best topic. It has information and instructions on how to weed out who can't buy the book or wouldn't be a good audience for the book or who the book will be sold to. It has instructions for how to make an outline, the different sections of the outline, what chapters should be what, how to, most importantly, get to a tangible goal, because the book that we're writing today is going to have a tangible outcome. Just the same as our course had a tangible outcome, it's going to have a tangible outcome. And that book is going to train ChatGPT to understand it needs to have a tangible outcome. It's also going to give it a flow to write the book, and it's also going to give it a flow to how the chapter should feel, what it should include, all those things because I have a book that teaches it that. Now, mind you, you might say, I don't have a book. Well, you have access to that book because if you join us in the Skool app for free, or if you're taking this class online on the actual website where you log in, you have a student dashboard and all that, there is a link to the PDF version of my book for free. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to pay it. Don't worry about it. Just what you're going to do is you're going to download that PDF. Now, mind you, you can take that PDF and you can actually do the book as it is. Read the chapters, do the examples, and then do the homework. And every time you do the homework, you're writing out your book. By the end of that book, by the end of the book, going through it, your entire book will be written. That's what I wrote the book for. So people can go online, buy it on Amazon, walk through all the steps, and write their entire book out and have to not worry about anything. And so instead of you doing that, which you could do because you have the PDF now, you have access to it. You can take that and upload it to ChatGPT and have it walk through it for you. So you don't necessarily have to read. And it can ask you questions and pull through and do all the back leg work of what it is that you would have done in that book with you going with it. So that's exactly what I did. I went and I uploaded it. It said, perfect. That sounds like an amazing next step. Go ahead and paste the book. So I pasted the book. It said it worked for 2 minutes. I'll let you see a little bit of what it did because it actually went through the book and it read it. And it went through the methodology. It says it uses 30 chapters divided into 4 sections with a focus on It goes through the whole thing and it pulls out all information that it got from the book, all the instructions. So that book is like a mega prompt. Forget mega prompt. It was ridiculously well orchestrated. It knows. I just taught it to basically teach you how to write a book as if it was me. Also now, because it has my writing sample, it knows how I want to talk. So I can easily say, hey, I wrote that. Can you write this book in that tone? You can also upload your writing samples. If you have written a book before or you have any other content, you can also upload that as well and say, hey, this is how I write, model it after that. You can also upload, if you've already done your course, and I've done this before as well, if you've already done your course, you can take the transcripts from the videos in your course. You can go to Otter AI, get the transcript, upload the transcript to ChatGPT, and it can learn from that as well. So this is the takeaways that it got from reading my book. It said key takeaways. The guide you shared walks readers through a structured 4-week journey to write an instructional book, because this book was meant to be written in 4 weeks. Its core principles are write for your audience, share outline in 4 sections. So see, it learned how to get the audience on the teachable topics, it brainstorm all those things. It learned my 4 sections. So the 4 sections I teach to write in is the first 7 chapters of the book is self-assessment and goal setting. The next section of the book is gathering and implementation. The 3rd section is practice and feedback. And the 4th section is finish strong, which models the same flow of kind of how the course is going. And so it learned what needs to be in these things and how to break it up into those 7 chapters and make it flow along for a tangible outcome. I also have in the book to use journal reflection, to adopt a teach, show, do model, and the chapters to make it to where the chapters should teach them why it's important, show them different things and examples, and then have them do it themselves so it knows to write the chapters in that way. And then write daily in short bursts. The book emphasizes steady writing progress over a month and reinforces that writing a book is a journey, not a race. So it also knows that we're not knocking this out in a day. So it learned from all those things. And then, because I told it I wanted to make a book that is going to be a companion to my course, it automatically came up with a topic for me. Now, I can go back and forth and talk about it and switch it and move things around. And it also gave me a 30-chapter format. Now, mind you, I go and I tweak it a bit. So it says a companion book outline for Secret Shopper Success Bootcamp. Mirror your 7 days so you can adapt the 4-section framework into a practical, engaging guide that teaches readers how to become successful secret shoppers. Below is a suggested structure. Use 4 sections and 7 chapters. If you like a longer chapter 30 format, feel free to condense chapters if you prefer fewer. So we kind of go through it, and it gives me every chapter. It gives me a chapter name, and then what goes in that chapter. And I genuinely went through and read all of them to make sure it makes sense. And then anything I don't like, I can change. So just kind of look at them. You got welcome to secret shopping, risks and realities, where secret shopping doesn't fit, access your starting point, identify, remove barriers, quick start wins, define your personal goals, which all fit in foundations and self-assessment. And the reason why we want to start the book with foundations and self-assessment is because when you have this book, you also want them to be finished this book and say, man, I learned so much. Like, this was a great book. It was so much information. I actually got through something and I moved to a different process where I was. I want to work with this person, or I want other things they have, or if they have something they sell it, I'm probably going to buy it because it's valuable. And so one of the best ways for you to do that is for in the beginning of the book to ensure that they're assessing where they are, to know what it is that they do know in the beginning. Because it's kind of like if you start, let's say you know that you're really big and you start working out and then you lose a bunch of weight, but you never knew what your starting weight was to begin with. You can completely be underestimating how much weight you actually lost if you don't actually measure yourself in the beginning. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing in this first section. We're going to be making sure we measure things out, give them what it should look like, have them see where they measure up, and then give a plan for moving forward. That's the first section. The second section, which is gathering, launching, it's going to be all about learning information, gathering information, and getting things set up to move forward with whatever that tangible goal is. So in this section, it has it going through researching legitimate companies, how to set up your tools, how to set up your accounts, understanding assignments, doing your first assignment. So learning all the bits and pieces about being a secret shopper before it has them actually going and doing it. So and then at the last part is the launch phase. So it gave it all the different pieces that you need to learn, and then gave me what should go in there. It says explain assignment types, retail visits, phone calls, dining, and typical requirements include sample instructions. And remember, it's not pulling this from anywhere. It got all this information when it did the research last week, going through everybody else's secret shopper programs, pulling from the internet what everybody else has, what they're offering, what their options are, what their learning objectives are. It's already pulled from that. So it didn't just create this out of nothing. It has information. Section 3, going into practicing and improving, because now that we've got to see what it should look like and where they are, and then we walked in the next 7 chapters of let me give you all the information you need, information, getting you to learn, getting you prepared, and then setting you up to launch. Then we don't want them to just fall on their face. So we're going to set them up with some baby steps. We're going to give them little bitty things that they can do to kind of gauge how they're grasping the information, and then have them improve from what they are. So we're going to also have them assess again, and then we'll have them improve. Then in section 4, we're going to have them finish strong. So now they've tried it, they've gauged it, see where they tweaked, they went back, they try again, all those things. That 4th section is when you're actually going to go for it. Whatever that tangible outcome is, you're going to really have them do it and do it well. Make sure that you're going to give them pointers on how to, make sure the tweaks are going well and to pull things back. And then also give them something to move forward to the next step. That's usually going to help them to get to either moving to where they're ready to work with you, moving to whether they can use another tool that you have, another resource that you have, or just move forward in general. So you don't want to end it on okay and then that's done. You want to give them some marching orders. You want to give them something they can take action with to say, hey, I was here, I had this, I moved around, I got all these things together, and now I'm moving forward with actionable steps to go and do even more than what this book had me. So I'm going to get more than what I expected, more than what I bargained for. So in this part, it's sort of like creating a long-term plan, advanced strategies, leveraging beyond shopping, building a community, marketing yourself, life after your first year, celebrating and giving back. And then section 5, which is not actually a section, it's the blurb and promotion part, and then your secret shopper pro. Recap the transformation, encourage further reading, training, thank them. But in reality, what I switched that with is I kind of switched the chapters around, and it kind of gave me that, but I can tweak it. And then it says, write and max the course. Here's how you can add all this other information. And I said, thank you. Can you provide that in a PDF outline? And also, can you help me to begin writing chapters, making sure that you ask me questions to ensure it includes my own story, insight, thoughts, skills, and knowledge. So once you've tweaked that outline and where you want it, get the outline, get it downloaded, because ChatGPT sometimes going back and finding things is really hard. Get it out, get a PDF of it. Make sure you tweaked it, and also remember I taught you last week. Make sure that you were countering that with your knowledge on whatever it is that you're teaching. So making sure that if something should be added, or you think there's a section, move it around. Say, can we add this section in? I need to talk about this topic. We need to make sure this is here, that is here. Go ahead and make sure that is done. So it did. It said, okay, it gave me a PDF. I was able to download this. It had all the sections in it, all the different chapters, everything it said in there, so I can download that and take it with me and call it a day. And it said, okay, let's start focusing on writing a chapter. And I'll guide you. It came up with this first chapter. It said, what do I want the promise to be? I didn't come up with the promise of my own. Remember, I want you to go online, ChatGPT, and go look at other people's stuff and see what they're talking about. So I said, okay, what would be best based on the other books of its kind? And it said, great question. Went and looked, and it came up with the recommended default. By the end of this book, you will book and complete your first paid student shopping assignment within 7 days. I didn't like that. First of all, I don't want somebody to try to go through a whole book in 7 days. We're adults. It's just not really plausible. I like to create books that people should take a month to do it. I feel like it's not too long to where they kind of forget about the book and they feel like it's a long process. It's not too little because it takes 28 days to make a change. I need you to have actually done things long enough or been with it long enough to have a changing part of your life. And I also want to make sure that you're thinking about it. Like it's something that's going to be in your head for a while, so it has a lasting impression in your mind. And so I said, let's make it more system focused because it gave me some other options. It gave me, do I want it to be fast tracks, a general start, or system focused? I want the book to be focused on the systems because if it is a system that you're teaching, it is a valuable book because now somebody is taking a framework, a system you have that they can implement and they can implement other things and they can implement it to change their life versus just an information book because you can get information online where you can't necessarily get what usually for free. Is a system and something that can walk you through setting up or creating a system for yourself. And so that is the one I chose. I suggest that you create something that is system-based too, that is something that you can put together. You can say, this is my proven method for reaching this tangible goal. That is something that's valuable. That is something that adds credibility to you. And it's also something that says people, you don't want to sell it. The main reason why we're doing this way is because I like to sell on Amazon. And on Amazon, it is not, I don't have a whole website of sales copy and all of that. You have an author bio, you have a book blurb, you have a description section. That is it. And really you have your cover and a little section because people are scrolling and they're seeing a lot of books at the same time. So you need something that can yell, hey, this is something that will change what you have going on. It'll be good very quickly within 10 seconds. So I always pick something like 30 days to your best clients yet for people who are like, I think it was like hairstylists, getting new clients for hairstylists. I had somebody that did a book that was Control Your Edges, how to deal with a heartbreak and breakup. Different things that are like people want to have a process for getting through something and moving around something to change. What is on my face? Or changing something. Okay, so I said, let's make it more system focused and we stay away from the amount of days. It says, I love that direction. So it gave me some options, and I went with number 1. By the end of this book, you will build, run a weekly shopper system that consistently books, completes, and reports paid gigs. I loved it. I said, okay, let's move forward. Locks it in, and we're going to work on that chapter. Now, in the chapter, you want to make sure that you are going over specifically what it is they're learning, why it's important for them to learn it. Give some examples. I like to give historical examples, real life examples, and usually an example of myself. And then give them actionable steps to move towards the next thing. ChatGPT already knows this because I gave it the book, but I'm teaching it to you so that way if you're writing your own book, you're creating this on your own, you know that these things are important because the chapter, you don't want just a chapter that just goes over information. You don't want just a chapter that just tells about something yourself. You want to blend all these things together so that way they're able to, 1, care about the information that they're getting, 2, being able to apply it in the mind multiple different ways and multiple different scenarios, and then figure out how to apply what they learned to themselves. And you want to help them walk through that so they don't have to kind of make those dots on their own. So we want to make sure that we're getting that done. Okay, so it gave me kind of this outline. It's not really a paragraph yet, but it gave me all the bits that I programmed it to do. The title, the promise, when I said why this matters, and then teach what it is about, and then show those are the examples and what they should do. So it learned what I wanted it to do, and it had the right understanding. And it also asked me a question because it said it wants me to have my own signature origin story. So it said in 3 tight beats, so we can weave into the show section, a situation before you receive the shop in 1 sentence, action, the single step it took to change things, 1 or 2 sentences, and then result, the first real proof this works for you, 1 or 2 sentences. I don't like to type it out. I just start talking. It probably isn't even correct. Like it's not grammatically correct or anything. It's probably run-ons. It asked me 1 or 2 sentences. I just start talking about before I started secret shopping, when I started, how I felt and all that, and kept it moving. It said wonderful. And then it gave me this. It wasn't in paragraph form. It just was condensed with bullet points, but it had the right information. So I said, this is great base, but I would like for my chapters to be long and in paragraph form instead of bullet forms. I would like all the information to be in paragraph form, but still explaining everything. It would be, and I would like it fleshed out. I wanted to make it very clear that I wanted to expand on what it was saying. Can you do some research on similar books and mimic the style of what you find, also adding in my voice and my style of writing to produce a real chapter for a book that resembles a chapter for real chapter for a book that resembles chapter for a book? I spoke this out loud. Please ignore the repetitiveness. Anyway, it worked 4 minutes. Remember, I like to do agent mode. I don't want to just think on its own. No, go out, go read some books, ChatGPT, go figure this out, go look at other people's chapters, get some more information, come back and show me a chapter. And so it did. It said, okay, a strong hook, a section addressing the reader's need for flexible income, explanations gave me what it's going to do. It said, show me here what you put in the document, because it's going to try to give me a document. I want to see it. So it gave me all this information. Also gave me different links to where it got information from or where it pulled from, so I can go back and look at it. And it gave me a lot of stuff. When I read it, I said it's robotic. I don't like it. It didn't really do a good job. And I said, this sounds a little robotic. Can you please look back at our past chats and make it sound more like me? So it's very important that you tweak it. Don't just take what it gives you at first. Make sure that you're reading it, that you're pulling in information, that you're saying that you're checking it, because ChatGPT can be wrong. Go check the sources that it gives you. Click on it, read it, make sure it's correct, make sure it's something that works well. And then also you can add in your own feedback as well. So it says, that makes sense. And it went back and it said, you have a warm, conversational, empowering voice that's both practical and motivating. That kind of helps readers feel like you're right there, cheering them on while giving them no nonsense clarity. Let me restyle this chapter. So it asked me what kind of feel did it want to have. And I said I wanted it to be coach to student, high energy and inspiring, simple and everyday language. Because that's another thing. The way that it was writing was not everyday language. Here, I'll read a little bit. Remember, progress beats perfection. Your assignments might feel awkward or pay only a few dollars. Each one teaches you something and strengthens your system. Over time, you will refine your process, build relationships with schedules, and see your earnings grow. As you finish this chapter, ask yourself, what does reliable weekly income mean for me right now? What habits do I need to develop to keep the system going every week? It's not bad, but it does give ChatGPT, and it does not give what I sound like. It doesn't have my feel. So when it tried again, it got much better. It says, let's see, here's the part. Let's see. Says, here's one. I applied to a few agencies and portals. I started with a phone shop because I did not have to go in person, and that felt manageable. I read the instructions twice. I took a breath and I made a call. The pay was not huge, but that first yes changed me. It showed me the door was real. Then the assignment showed up, then another. When the first payments hit my account, I felt it in my chest. That little spark that says, I can do this. Not a lottery win, not a miracle, but proof. Real money for real work on my time. It was validating and empowering. I booked myself. I was no longer waiting. That sounds a lot more like me. If you know me or you see my stuff, I talk in I talk in sentences that are cut up like that. That's how I write. That's how my books sound. That sounds like me. That fit much better. And I was like, excellent. So I wanted it to be a little longer. So I had to make it just a little longer. Actually, that wasn't long one. I said, I love this. Let's use this style and parameters for all the remaining chapters. Now it knows how I want to write. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to take that out. I'm not going to have it put in a Word document from me, because for you to put it as a paperback, not an ebook. We're not making an ebook right now. We're making a paperback book, because everybody and their mama has an ebook. Not everybody has a paperback book. When you have a paperback book, it helps people see you much differently. It's something to be able to put something in someone's hand. And also, people are a lot more likely to pay for it, and they'll pay more for it. If you have an ebook book, that's not really going to be able to get you on podcasts or get you any press or get you speaking anywhere. Having a physical paperback book changes things. And which is also why I make it 30 chapters, because you don't want it to just be a really short book. You want it to be a book that actually has some weight to it. So by doing 30 chapters, I guarantee you it will at least be 100 pages at very least. So you're at least going to have a book that's about this thick. Now, we're going to start writing these chapters. We read our first chapter. What do you do with it after that? You're going to use a manuscript. We're going to go to KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing. It's for Amazon. It's how you get your book on Amazon. We're going to go there and we're going to get our template for free. We're not going to use AI for it, but what we're going to do is we're going to download what we need to then paste in our chapters into the Word document. So I'm going to share my screen so you can see where we get that from. Okay, let me make sure you can see it. All right. So I'm at kdp.amazon.com. And this is where you get your paperback or hardcover manuscript template. So I'm going to go choose my template. And I'm going to get the one with sample content. So I want templates with sample content. Why? Because it's already going to have the margins where you need to have it. It's already going to have the chapters. Basically, it's going to make it to where your table of contents will automatically populate. It's going to have to where it's going to know where the chapters names are, where the paragraphs are, where your page breaks are. You cannot use a regular Word document to upload for KDP. It has to be a manuscript with certain parameters, and they're kind of type parameters. For example, it needs to be that when you open the book, if let's say it's on the right side, the words will have a little bit more space here because you have to open the book. So on the right side of it, on the left side of it, it will be, some of it will be in the book. And if it's on the that right side, be on the left side of the page, then the right side of the page would need more space because it's going to be inside the book. So every other page, the text will be either over to the left or over to the right. And so you want to make sure that you have it proper, and it has a certain amount of space that has to be on the side so it doesn't get cut off and printing and all of that. So you want to make sure that you're using this this manuscript. I'm going to share my entire screen, actually, so you can see me use this manuscript. Okay. Don't mind my screen. All right, we're going to go to, I just downloaded it. Here we go. Manuscript. All right, open that up. And in this, we're going to go to English. Open that up. And we are going to click on the 6x9-inch document. I don't actually use Microsoft Word, unless I'm writing a book and I have to because it just works much easier. But I actually don't like using Microsoft Word. Okay, so we're going to close this out. I only activate it during the time I need it. And you are genuinely just going to paste in. We're not going to delete things. If you delete things, it will remove the formatting. You want to paste in things. And so, or we can highlight the whole thing and start typing, but we're not going to delete things. We're going to put our book name, our author name here. It's going to have, you're going to change the author name here. It's going to give you an ISBN. When you upload to KDP, it will give you your own ISBN. You're going to paste that there. We're going to paste in our dedication. We haven't written it yet, but when we get it, we're going to paste it in. We're not going to touch the table of contents. We're not going to touch the table of contents. The table of contents populate from the chapter names and the page numbers they're on. You update that. When you finish writing your book, you click on update table of contents, it will change on its own. Don't touch it, don't do anything to it. Here's acknowledgments, and here's the chapter. So for chapter name, I'm going to highlight and I'm going to paste, or I'm going to type right there. When it says chapter name, this is already formatted to know this is the chapter name and what page it's on. So that way, when we update our table of contents, it already knows where it is. Do not delete this. Leave it there. It needs to be exactly where it is. All this is already done for you. For our chapter, we're going to just copy the whole thing, and we're going to paste it in. So I can take my chapter that it gave me and paste it right here, and then bam, I have my chapter, and then I'm going to start typing from there. That's how I'm going to work with it from there. I'll start typing from there. Now, this gives you 10 chapters to start with. You can add more chapters. You just copy the ones that are already there, add another one, make it chapter 11, 12, 13. But then you're going to save this. You save this as a Word document, and you can use this to upload directly to KDP. So I'm going to stop sharing. So that's what we're going to use to make sure that we're able to have the actual thing that we need, which is a manuscript. We're not going to make an ebook. We're not going to put in a regular document. We're going to KDP, and we're going to get our ebook. The other thing we're going to do, now that we've gotten the manuscript, we've gotten it together. Make sure you can see my screen. Oh, you cannot. Oh, wait, there we go. You can see it. Okay. I said, let's do some research on Amazon, find books that are similar, and then write a book blurb and an author bio to go on the back cover of the book. Now, mind you, I know we only did one chapter. I only want you to do one chapter for the homework. You can do, honestly, I like to do 7 in a day when I do them, and then kind of work from there. And then after I'll do 7 for 4 days straight. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Thursday. I've gotten them all, the GPT versions of them done. So now I have all 30. And then, well, that's actually 28. Then I do the last two on the last day, the beginning and the last one. And then on Friday is when I, okay, let me go through and like really look at everything and paste everything into the manuscript. And then the next week is when I start really going through and writing each chapter and adding things in and moving it around and having it, fleshed out and filled with what I need. So that's something that you can do. Because it already knows the outline for the book and what's going in it, because it already tweaked it, it already knows what the entire book is about. So, and it knows you because it's been learning from you. It's been learning from you for the last 3 weeks. So it can go ahead and do that. So what it did, and I'll let you see it work for a little bit, it went online and it went to go find all the other books that were similar. It went on different people's websites and went on Amazon, and it went and looked at their author bios and book blurbs to get a flow of what was working. One, because if it can find it, it's doing well and it's selling well, then it's probably a flow we need to follow. But there are some key components to author bios and book blurbs that we need to make sure that we are including, and we're going to go over that. So I'll let that finish. It already kind of did it. So it gave me my proposed book blurb, and also gave me, again, where it got these things from. It says, have you ever dreamed of getting paid to shop, dine, or run errands without waiting on someone else's permission? Bam! Came out with a hook right off bat. The first thing that you should have in your book blurb is a sentence that tells the people where they would be if they finished your book. You have 2 seconds to get their attention. And so that's something somebody might want to do. Want to get paid to shop, dine, and run errands without waiting on somebody else's permission to get, or I changed the words from somebody else's permission, or saying without waiting on getting hired. Secret Shopper Success Bootcamp invites you into a world where everyday activities become income opportunities. Inspired by the idea that mystery shopping is a fast-growing career option rather than a gimmick, this book demystifies the industry and shows you how to build a reliable weekly system. And it goes into more things. Forget scammy hype inside your learn, and then it goes in exactly what's inside the book and being honest with it. So inside, you'll learn what mystery shopping really is, posing as a normal customer, interacting with staff, and then submitting honest reports, and why companies value your feedback. You'll discover how to spot legitimate agencies and get paid quickly, follow a step-by-step roadmap similar to the guides that promise to teach you where to eat, how to shop at your local grocery store, and get paid for it, or at least get your money back. And it goes more. And it also gave me a proposed author bio. It doesn't know my last name because I didn't tell it. It says Empress Blank is a seasoned mystery shopper, entrepreneur, and creator of the Secret Shopper Success Bootcamp. After years of searching for flexible income opportunities, it took the story that it asked me, that origin story, and it made its own. It made a portion about that, because I do a lot of stuff. But for this book, people just want to know why they should listen to me on this specific topic. So it didn't add anything about my consulting firm. It didn't add anything about me teaching people how to write books. It didn't add anything. It knows that about me, but it knows that for this author bio, the author bio should really only include why people need to listen to you on this specific topic and why you wrote this book. That's it. We don't need to know about your dog, Billy, unless it's the type of demographic that we want to know about your dog, Billy. If you write and teach grandmas how to, create their first crochet business or something, they might care about your dog. So, it gave me a really good proposed author bio for me to start working from. Mind you, read, tweak, change, add. Don't change the whole format up, because then it kind of defeats the purpose of using the research to figure out what they already had. But making sure that you have all those things together helps a lot. So we got our author bio, we got our book blurb. Now we need to go into designing the book, because what is the book going to look like? We know that we're making a 6 by 9 inch book cover, because we're making a 6 by 9 inch book. Now, mind you, this book cover is not the whole book cover. KDP is a paperback. You're going to do a paperback book, and so it has a front, a back, and a spine. So what that looks like is a bit different. But what we can do is take, and mind you, we can't get ChatGPT to make the whole thing and give it all these parameters, but it's a lot. In ChatGPT, we're making images. It plays with you sometimes, but it's better than you having nothing. So if you have a graphic designer, it might be best to go that route. But if you don't have a graphic designer, no need. You can get it done with ChatGPT. So what we're going to do is, we said make a book cover with that sign, and I said give the essence of this book, and this is what it gave me off bat. It says Secret Shopper Success Bootcamp with a little magnifying glass and check mark. Build a weekly secret shopping system for fast, flexible income. Empress. I don't know my last name, so it just says Empress. I can go ahead and tweak on this, but I can tell you I didn't really like it. I like imagery for my stuff. It looks pretty basic, although it would work. And the things I do like about it is, one, the font is very large. You have to remember that people are buying this book. They're probably buying it online. If you have it very small where it can't be seen very big, people are not going to know what it is very quickly, and it's not going to catch their attention. I like that it has very contrasting colors. It's very easy to see the words. I do love that it is very clear about what it does. Build a system, a weekly shopping system for fast, flexible income, very easily recognizable on the front cover, but we're not going to work with it. I went back and I said, this is wonderful. Could you please use some imagery on the cover? Things that make you think of making money and the different types of secret shopping. It gave me this. I like it. I actually like it a lot. It says the secret shopper system, get paid to shop, dine more. And I might need to change the name. Sometimes you can get it to go back and switch it around and tell it to use these words exactly. And we can work on the prompt to make it pop better. But for this, I'm just kind of playing with it, seeing what it's got. I like it. I liked it a lot. I want some space, so I asked to make some space. It changed it again. Gave me this one. I like it less. I asked for some people. At this point, I'm just trying to show you different things it can do. I can download that and I can add it to my my Kindle. Now, I'm going to show you where to get the paperback cover. We're going to go back to KDP on Amazon. Now, you're going to have to actually use the cover calculator and template generator because it depends on how thick your book is. The spine is specifically measured to how many pages it needs to cover. So it's going to say binding type. We're going to do a paperback. We're going to do interior type. We're going to do black and white. We're going to do, because the paper type matters, so that thickness paper type. We're going to do, I like cream paper. We're going to do the left to right reading, measurement units, inches, and then the interior trim size. We did 6 to 9. And then we're going to say page count. I'm going to say 135. And it says calculate dimensions. And this is what it's going to give me. So it says download template. And now it's going to give me this template. And we're going to pretend that it downloaded. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go to Canva. And this is actually my book cover for the book on writing the book. I made it on Canva. I Photoshop sometimes, it's just too much. So you can see behind here, I do believe I have it. Let me see. It's here. Yes, you can see my template behind here. So this yellow in the back is actually the KDP template. So it says, you can see the lines on it. I made it to where I can see where everything needs to be. And then I added a rectangle here and added the things on top of it. So I'm just move this back. Actually, I'll just press, there we go. Move this back up. And on this, I pasted in my book blurb and my author bio. And this is a cover I actually made myself individually with different pieces. But I can go and download one of the covers for the one they gave me. Let's see. And I'll add it to my Canva. Okay, and now I'll show you how you can add it onto the cover. So I'm going to go to uploads. Here we go. All right, now I'm just going to drag this over. I need to move this to the front. There we go. And then just drag this out. Now, mind you, there is some space where it can get cut off, so I would add some more space behind here. And that's why you see there's areas on, there's top and bottom. I told ChatGPT it was 6 by 9, and it is. But this book cover actually there's trim on it. So I would add a rectangle behind it and then match this color. So let me make a rectangle. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to change the color by just clicking on this color here and then using the dropper to match that color. There we go. And now I have a rectangle. I can put it behind. I'm going to make it long than it needs to be. I'll make it wide. Awesome. And then I'm going to move it back just one. Send backward. And there we go. Now I have a full page book. And so now that could be my book cover. If I wanted to change this, I just change the color here. And then I would just change. I actually like the orange though, the yellow. But that now I have a book cover that I don't have to worry about. So, and I also have an author bio and a book blurb, and I would put that's the title right there. I have a photo of me, but you don't have to. And then I would just download that as a PDF and use that to upload for KDP. Okay. Let's see. So we structured our book. We got through the whole writing with AI. We just finished designing our book. Now I want to talk about how we're going to use this book to build income. So we did that. We did our homework. We did the book. We got the outline. We got the book cover together. We're uploading it. We didn't publish it to Amazon just yet because I have a whole spiel on how you can publish it and how you do a launch and how you can get number one bestseller. All of that is I have a whole different program for that if you want to learn about that. But we haven't uploaded it yet. But I'm just willy-nilly finishing and upload it. We're gonna wait until we got a few more things put together, and we're gonna do that further in this course. But you have a couple more weeks to keep working on it, so that way it's done a little bit down further in the course. But this is what we're going to do. The first thing we're going to do is one, sell it individually. So, like I said, you can tell people about the book. You can use this book to promote yourself when you go in different speaking engagements, going on podcasts. But in it, you're going to sell it because it makes money. I like to sell books for $10. I feel like $10 is a very fair price. People don't mind paying $10. It's something people can easily say yes to. You don't want to make your book $30, $40, $50. Make it a very basic, easy $10. At most $15. I've seen $20, but then people have to think about whether they want the book versus $10. People usually just go on Amazon and buy it right then when I tell them about it. It works very, very well. And that money adds up. That money it goes to an account and they pay you. It pays about 60 days after. We get payment once a month. And that's income stream that just comes in, especially if you're writing on topics that we've already proven is something you want to know because we found that out week 1. And you're writing on something that gives a tangible outcome that somebody might want to actually have. So it's not like we're writing. I wrote a book on my journey to becoming an entrepreneur. I wrote a book on overcoming. My apologies. Oh, you're welcome. Whoever said, Queen Shantae said, thank you so much for this helpful and valuable information. I wish you'd utilize it. You are welcome. Thank you. You're not saying I'm writing a book about, my upbringing in my childhood in Chicago. Because people do want to hear that story, but it's not the same as, hey, this book's going to help you become a secret shopper and become a good secret shopper and walk you through the steps of it. If I want to be a secret shopper, I'm paying $10 for that book. So it sells itself because I don't want another stream that I have to actually go out and peddle and say, hey, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. It's more so as you're living and doing the things you do, interacting with the target market you're already interacting with, you have something that you can just easily say it's there, and it's easily accessible. The main reason I put it on Amazon is because I'm not shipping anything. I don't have time to keep up with that kind of stuff. People are a lot less likely to buy it when they have to go in and put credit card information and all that. People usually already have all that stuff already loaded on Amazon. They can literally click a button and it's in their house. The app is already in there. It makes the user experience very quick, very simple, very easy, and it works very, very well. The second thing is you can bundle it with your course. I don't mind sending it to you when you buy a course. So the course that we have, remember we can do free ones, but let's say you're doing it and you're selling a course because we've done it a couple of times. We've got courses under our belt. We're consistently producing great course content. People are loving what we're doing. We started to charge now. I don't recommend charging for your first course or even your second course. Run it a couple times, get good at it, get some feedback, and then when it is knocking it out of the park consistently, then charge for the course. You can bundle this book to go with it as a companion, not as a workbook to the course, but for people who want to buy that. So when you're selling your course, like, would you like this book as well? And then it is nothing, because if the course is at the price point it needs to be, to go on Amazon and to send them the book, it's not that big of a deal to just send it from Amazon instead of having them all to yourself and having to have money up front, which is another reason why I like this income stream. It's free. All these income streams I've been giving you are free. You don't have to pay up front to have all your books put up and have them in your house and then mail them out or anything like that. You can upload to Amazon for free and in 2 days be selling that book for free. And in 2 days, also have that book physically in your house. You have to buy it yourself. I recommend just paying the price that you're charging the book for. Instead of doing the author copy, it takes a long time to get to you. That's why I said in 2 days. But you can have it. And then lastly, lead generation. The books that I make sure I make them where the content information is stuff You can get all this information about how to be a secret shopper online. I do have my special insight on how I do things and why I do things and how to make things better. That is in the book as well. But it's not something that I don't want to, like, I'm going to be upset if I gave away for free. That's also why it's $10. I give away my books for free all the time as a lead generator because it shows people what you can do. It helps them to kind of see insight into what it'd be like working with you, or that you know what you're talking about, or even if it's just to help them to accomplish something, to say, hey, this person helped me. Because now you have somebody that will give referrals, and you have somebody that will speak highly of you. You can even ask them to write a review. But what I use it for mainly is a free download. I do free downloads all the time. For instance, right now, if you're taking this course and you want this book to add into ChatGPT to help you write your book, it's a free download. You can go online and download it from our school, or you can download it from going to the course online. Either way, I've gotten your email. I love it. You got it for free, and I got an email. Hopefully, build my email list. So it's good for lead generation, because somebody who would want that book, if you're in this program wanting to do income streams and you're looking to write a book, I help people write books. That might be a pathway. And even if you don't need help writing the book because you learned how to do it with this course and you did it on AI, with AI and everything worked well, you might know somebody who wants somebody to hold their hand through it. And everybody wants to use AI, and everybody wants to do it on their own. And sometimes I have clients that just don't know how to use technology to begin with. And they wouldn't know the first thing about using the manuscript or making the cover. And some people just don't want to learn. And so it's a lead generator. It helps you bring in more people. It helps people to be able to see what it is that you can do. And then it helps people to learn more about you. And so that's how they build income. Now, mind you, have I just built thousands and thousands of dollars from books? Absolutely not. But to be honest with you, unless you're a New York Times bestseller, that's not necessarily where you want to focus your attention on. With a $10 book, there's just a lot more that you have to sell. But it is a good income stream. You can make hundreds of dollars from the books. That's definitely something you can do. So we're going to get into our homework. What are we going to? Oh, this banner's too low. What are we going to be doing today for our homework? Before we get there, I want to go with our code word. The code word this week is tinfoil. Tinfoil is the code word. If you were watching this and you were taking the class online and there's a quiz that you need a code word for, the code word is tinfoil. Write it down. Don't forget it. Tinfoil. Okay, so for homework, we're going to be, one, working with ChatGPT to create at least your 30 chapter outline with the examples of what's going to go in that outline. So you should at least have an outline of the whole book. You should at least have one chapter done. Have it walk you through creating one chapter to at least train it to how you want that chapter to work, how you want it to sound, how you want it to flow, all the information. Getting that done and telling it, okay, we got it right. This is how we're going to make our chapters, at least one chapter, an author bio, and a book blurb. And for bonus points, go ahead and get that cover together. Get the cover done. What that does when you get the cover together, whether or not you use Canva to make it from scratch, whether or not you use AI, whether or not you hire somebody, once you see that cover, it helps you really feel like it's a book. The book exists. I even go as far as to get a book mock-up of it. So that's going to be our homework for this week. I hope that you've enjoyed this week's class. If you have any questions, please put in the chat. And you can also always go and meet us in the school. In Skool, I like to answer your questions. If you have any questions, or if you have any feedback, or you want to just say hey, or you want to access the course, you can access all the information in the course, the homework, the downloads, and everything by going to myconsulting.com/Skool and joining our Skool community. So that's all I have for you today. I will see you next week. Next week we start module 2. So this module was all about getting things together, getting products that we can actually use. Getting pieces we can actually use, because if you have nothing to promote, nothing to sell, it's kind of hard to make income. And now we've gotten that together. We have 3 things. Next week, we're going to start creating things to promote the 3 things that we have. And we're also, as we're putting all these things together, still working up towards that signature program, which is going to be a high ticket offer. So I'm excited to see you next week. Get your homework done, and we'll come back ready to focus and ready to start promoting and launch.